Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So we are back here for the last round of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. As you can see, a good round 3. We saw ourselves race up the leaderboard from a tie in 14th all the way up to 3rd now. I do not know that we'll really be able to vie for the lead. He's still got a pretty solid lead on us, I think. At least 8 or 9 strokes, so they'd really have to have a collapsed 4th round here, but let's see how things go. Before we jump in, as always, I'm going to make the request, if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe. Those things are crucial to the channel and greatly appreciated. Alright, wind is just up to medium, so at least we're not back to high wind, or not having high wind. We haven't had it in this tournament, so that's good. But overcast weather, so sometimes that can make it a bit challenging to see. Alright, the 5th hole there that we're seeing. Alright, and again, Matt will not be off for a while. It does look like Brian, who's in 3rd with me, is already off, and several people behind us are already moving, so people are even. Few people a few strokes down. You can see Xander Schauffele 2 strokes down, Alejandro Tosti 1 stroke down, so there's some competition there. My rival already on the back 9 and 6 up today, so if we have anything like the round we had yesterday, we should be in good position for the rivalry at least. But most importantly, as we sit right now, we are 2 strokes out of 2nd. Alright, so a bit of wind. Now again, this is one of those that it's worked all week. And now it may not. So from the conservative side, yeah, see, this is what they'd say, I made a bad call. I ended up in a nice empty location. So that should help. I am going to go this way, though, to try to get clear of those trees a bit. I don't want to go far enough that I'm rotating the swing bias, but yeah, that was in the right vicinity. It just wasn't quite where I needed it to be. Alright, nice pick, and see if we can put this away. We can. Alright, that has been a hole that has been challenging. So I am now in 4th because Alex Smalley is off, and they are 1 stroke ahead of us. Which I'm not sure I understand, because I think everyone was tied with us, and I don't know, maybe he must have gone, he must have gotten a birdie on his hole. So that makes sense now that I think on it. Alright, wind toward us, so we need to compensate for that. And we have an elevation change. If I really reflect on, I think I had the same problem here last time. If I reflect on what may have accounted for the good round I had, the other thing I can't discount is the fact that I was able to maintain a good swing path through the whole event, where I struggled in the 2nd round to do that. Might be too far, but at least it doesn't go very far with the pick, so that's helpful. Go a little more, because I always seem to underread it. And this time I did not underread it. Just trying to learn those kind of greens and what I need to do Well, luckily that one did fall again, and we're not in worse shape. Alright, looks like my rival lost another stroke. Alright, so again, we're gonna kind of head that way. So hopefully we won't cross. We crossed over. So I've been 50% on that outcome. So this is going to go down basically at least 100. So if I'm, again, going to be conservative, I'm going to aim further over. And so if I don't have the distance, I'll be out of the bunker. But I was out of the bunker, but that worked out well. So that, I think, would definitely be a specific example where it did work for me and result in, did we get a, I don't think we got a birdie on there. Oh no, we did, okay. But as opposed to ending up in the bunker, because I was playing aggressively and hoping I could carry it, that was really the advice that I was getting. Was that I'm counting on a good shot being difficult, and so basically to make it the way I'm aiming, I was in essence needing a perfect shot, and that was, you know, foolish, because I don't execute that way every time. Alright, well, we got 100. Ooh, we did still go high. Wow. This is a lot of downhill, so I didn't like the swing stroke there. Come on. Alright. It felt bad, but it actually looked pretty straight. Alright, so now I'm owning second, but you can see Wallace is already through 3. So he's, you know, 1 hole behind me, which would make sense, because we'd kind of head off. So this is, again, the example where just being conservative, stay away from the edge where I could end up easily in the out of bounds. You know, and that way we're floating to the right a little bit, but it gives me room to have a little bit of that, and it actually worked out nicely for me because an error helped me as opposed to being near the shoreline there and then just hitting the bounce on the edge of that curved green, which would then just shoot me in the direction and off the cliff. And that's what happened to me a couple times, you know, in the really poor round I had. Oh no! It didn't move at all. I gave that one away. This hole has been challenging for me the entire event. Alright, so we're gonna go here again with the wind. You know, if I'm wrong, I'll end up, but, you know, that 8 mile an hour, I mean, 8 yards across, that pulls me a long way over, and that gets me too close to the water otherwise. So again, we're going up 13 yards. Again, 8 yards over, though, so we'll go over the bunker. I think we're okay, but yeah, that was not bad at all. But that was a lot. Ooh, close. Alright, we got a birdie. An eagle would have been really nice. Again, not sure that I could claw my way in. So again, it's blowing over, so that's what I misread once before. So that should be about where I'm at. Oh no. I mean, we're gonna have... Alright, I guess it worked out. We're going to have some movement. I know that. Alright, I think it's moving to the left or to the right immediately, then pretty heavily to the left, but then back. So I think maybe just sticking with the straight on might be best. Being a little light because it is downhill. So yeah, that still went far, but I couldn't have gone much softer than that. Alright, beautiful. It was uphill, so it usually doesn't move too much. But yeah, it's always a bit of a challenge there. Alright, so again, we continue to have the wind just being a cross breeze here at least. Wow, we didn't hit that strong at all. Usually I'm around 240, so that makes this a little harder. We're going to lose about 4 or 5 yards from the wind and gain about that, so I'm going to just stick with this. Alright, straight and true. Really nice. Alright. So again, I don't want to overpower it and jump the hole. So I've got 4 birdies in 8 holes. It's hard to argue with the results. Whatever it is that I'm doing, it has improved what my results have been. And I think, honestly, some of it... Oh, this is beautiful, because this is the one where I usually roll down. That actually allowed me to stay up there. Interesting. Alright, so we're gaining about 6 in elevation. We're probably losing about that in the blowback. And then the lie. Goodness. Again, I really want to be conservative. I should be okay. Ooh. Yeah, that got really close, but once again, just really being intentional with what I was doing. Alright, we're off a little bit further than I'd like, so it's definitely not a simple putt. Nope. Okay. Now this should be a little bit more of a tap in. Alright, at least we didn't go too far and lip out again and give myself a double bogey. Alright, well now we've got 2 of us tied for second. Yeah, at this point it just becomes a solid finish. Which I will have. I mean, I'm not suddenly going to fall to 50th. Alright. I was counting more on that wind having an effect that it just did not have. We're going to lose 18 yards. So that will put me at 170. Right? Yeah. And then we're gaining about 5, so we're gonna go with this. Oh boy. That's concerning. Okay. That didn't work. But again, was it a solid attempt? I think so. I just think I didn't well, now I went the opposite way. I didn't execute well. And now we're already going for a bogey. We're going to want to slow this down. And it's going to go about 50. We're going to want to pull this back. Still far. Actually, let me reset this and go with that. now we're going for triple bogey. Okay, quad bogey. So, again, falling in the water. But what my explanation is I think there's less stress as well if I'm not trying to execute incredibly difficult shots. And I think that has also helped. Because I think it just allows me to then actually execute solid shots a little bit easier. Somehow I guess it said I overswang, but I swear it said 96. I don't know. Either way, I think we just birdied that hole, so that's good. Puts us within one stroke of those folks. All right, so we're gonna be down. Yeah, with the elevation change and all. Because we're gonna gain 8, but then we're gonna also, yeah, we're gonna gain 8 and gain 8. So I think this will be good. Might be too far, but then it doesn't matter where I'm at, because it'd be too far anywhere on the green, because it's a pretty straight green. All right, again, the roll that I just can't read. I mean, I can read, it just never ends up in the hole. Ugh. So that was too much again. All right, at least it fell in. All right, now I'm 2 strokes away, so he's pulling away from me a bit. Okay, it should roll down. Yep. And then we're gonna back off a bit, but we're compensating for the lie. I think that's pretty good, honestly. I'd say that's pretty good, honestly. Alright, it did move. I'm like, if it doesn't move, then I'm in trouble. But it did. Alright, so now my sole possession of third. We're sitting here and at the 14th. Okay, the wind is going to help us carry, so we're going to go right there. Ooh. I kind of was looking at that, so that was my fault. That was just poor judgment. I mean, I could tell I was aiming at the tree, but somehow I told myself I wasn't. And obviously, I was very, very wrong. Alright, so again, being conservative, that should work. And hopefully stay. It's alright. I mean, it's not bad. It's in the light rough. So now we're going to have that. That's a big jump. So I think the right thing to do is just stick with this and be short, but not be over. Am I? Ooh. Okay. That works. That honestly works. So we're not going to pull anything back. We're going to just let it roll on up. Because, yeah, uphill I felt we'd have some breaks, and we did. Nope. Too much power, and then it just basically went too straight. So, alright, giving one back. So, still in third. Now he lost one as well, so I'm still within striking distance. A little bit further to the right, but no, it didn't get out where I was hoping. Okay, so if I'm here, I'm gonna go back about 4 or 5. No, I probably really do want to be about there, and then let the wind do the rest. So we're gonna have a partial. Ooh. Alright, a little bit too much. Now we will pull back. Probably too much. Okay, not bad, not bad. Luckily, I stopped my swing, because, yeah, it felt wrong on that second test, and if I had hit it, I think I would have had a really poor result. So that was a big moment, too, because I have really struggled being able to do that. You know what? I'm going to try this now. I'm going to take the conservative shot, because I know with the driver I will roll off and end up in the rough. So this way I'm hitting from the fairway, which is kind of the shot strategy, like, you know, because then I'm not playing with a weird lie and trying to say, you know, because that's the thing, if it's like 86 to 91, it's hard to control, where here it's 99%. Like, I know, you know, I'm in pretty good shape here. Alright, now I do want to be over there. Okay. And that is exactly what they were talking about. To play that way so you can execute that, rather than, you know, having to do something miraculous. Alright. In theory, I'm in second, but, like, it's weird because there's, like, 2 people tied for first, but I know they're not. It's just the way it's displaying it, so it's a little odd. Probably too far to the right. Oh. Alright, I guess because I shot out to the side, it was really almost straight on, but pull back a bit. Because this isn't downhill. Oh! Pulling back a bit was the difference. Probably would have been in the hole. See, but like the 2 that are above me look like they're tied for first, and they're not. So it's just kind of a goofy way that it's displaying that. I would say that is a bug of some sort. I don't know if it's like giving away that they've done better on the next hole, or what. Alright, we gotta pull back. And again, conservative. Conservative, so I'm gonna even go a little further. Because the green is big, and it is a par 5. So, and it's not as if I can win. So trying to get, like, force an eagle when it wouldn't really matter. I mean, it might matter in, like, am I third or second, but it's not going to win me the tournament. Alright, so we defeat Tom Kim. So we did defeat our rival, so we know that. I guess, you know, the achievement gives us that ahead of time. Alright, so we did finish in sole possession of second. We were 1 under. I wasn't actually paying attention, but yeah, Matt had a good day. But yeah, I would say in a Pro-Am where in theory the competition is harder, I've done well. Okay, the good news is I've gone from a status of good to great with Golf Club. Those were the sponsors I upset by letting Cobra come in for the clubs. So obviously the progression from fine to good makes sense. But let's see, tier-wise. All right. So we still have not popped all the way up. It's going to take some work to get all 9 tiers. So let's see, how definitively did we beat the rival? 82 to -1. That's pretty definitive. But it's the 20 birdies and only 5 doubles to his 6 doubles. That was really the big difference. Obviously the match play helped as well, but alright, but now we'll be able to go into the Tier 2 rivals, which I'm sure will be more difficult and more challenging. And somehow I'm in first place in standings because of that score, because whoever was in first obviously didn't do as well on the on this week's play. Alright, so sponsor reward, we got the cap. I think then we also got the Cobra cap. You know, but then everything else, and then we should get a good amount of people, and then I'm sure once we have our interviews, we'll get even more people and more fans. So if we'd be interested in doing a quick media interview. Yeah, this is probably the 5th week. This is now really my my big week. After the tournament, you had a small chat with your rival Tom Kim. Can you share what you both said to each other? Alright. Did I tease him? I'm a fan. Not willing to share the details. Congratulated each other. Well-fought match. Is it the playing against Tom? Yes, and I would agree. I think that would be very much where I'd be at. Alright. I probably want to pull myself down a little bit, so maybe I'll make a bolder answer at some point. Congratulations on reaching the #1 spot in the FedEx Cup rankings. With the target now on your back, how do you plan to continue your success? Work hard. I don't see it as a title to defend. It's a bit more pressure, but I welcome it. I'm going to go with that. Okay, so that didn't really do anything. So yeah, so we added... Oh, well, clearly... Okay, so the interview just added 1.5, but we added 60 or 70,000 followers. Okay, you advance to the next tier of rivals. See who you need to defeat in the rivals screen. Okay. Alright, week 6, nice game out there. But yeah, we're at 366,000, so I know we were just, I think, just shy of 300, so we probably got 60 or 70. I'm guessing Tom is one of the ones here. Okay, so let's see what he had to say. So, nice game out there. I can't believe you beat me. Don't get too comfortable, though. I'm taking you down next time. Yeah, can't wait to see. Oh, and I've got a small gift to remember this match. Can't wait to see what it is. So we get a few fans. Alright. Clothing is always nice, so. Yeah, clothing is more useful than like a ball or whatever. So yeah, I just don't want to... Alright. So we're going to turn down the sponsors, because I just want to stick with the ones I have, and I'll deal with these later. So we're going to decline. I have to respectfully decline, so it doesn't really matter what they tell me. So same thing with Nike and Adidas, but we'll work through these now, because we know we don't need to think on them, where last time I left it. I'm declining. Hope our paths cross again. Because then what I can do is, as I hit level 9, then I can, you know, go ahead and flip sponsors, but at least I've gone all the way to the top with them, and that will work. Yeah, decided not to accept the offer at this time. Alright, so let's see what Troy has to say. I can't find the right words to express my pride and joy as you officially joined the PGA Tour. I actually danced when I got the news. I hope you did too. I'm immensely proud to be part of your team. Now, I mean, I've been on the tour, but yes, I'm number 1. Wow, did I miss the dance party in the office? That's on me. Next time we meet, we're celebrating properly. Okay. So, we get a few folks there. Just 89 more followers. I don't understand how, like, a conversation with my agent does that, but that's how it works, so we'll let it do its thing, I guess. Alright, so another interview. Currently leading the FedEx Cup standings, and we couldn't be more thrilled about it. In light of your recent success, we'd like to extend an invitation to an exclusive interview where we can explore your journey to the top. We can't wait to hear all about it. Delighted to accept the interview. And again, that might give me a chance to kind of give a aggressive response to pull some things down. So let's see. Congratulations on your phenomenal rise to the top of the FedEx Cup. What part of your game do you credit most for your recent success? My iron play. I think it's the mental game, honestly. Driving accuracy, putting. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, how do you plan to maintain your position at the top? I plan on focusing more on the mental aspect, closely with my coach, play as much as possible, probably, yeah, to stay sharp under pressure. This might just, there we go. Okay, I focus one shot at a time and try not, how do you handle the pressure that comes with being number 1? So this may be what I need. The others should feel the pressure. To me, it's about playing the game I love. It's a challenge, not a burden. It's the others who should feel the pressure. I actually thrive under pressure. It brings out the best in me. Because this one does seem a little more aggressive. But we're going to go with this. Alright, and that moved me pretty substantially back. So there you go. If you were not a professional golfer, what career would you pursue? Probably be in the tech industry, maybe developing software, working on innovative tech solutions, which is what, you know, I do work in, so that's just why I laughed. Chef, I do love cooking, though. Similar to, there's an art to cooking that I find really appealing, similar to crafting a perfect golf shot. Always drawn to the spotlight. Nope. Teacher, I do like that too. The idea of shaping young minds and making a difference in education. So 3, I don't know, we'll go with the chef. It's a little unique, but it probably doesn't much matter. Finally, how would you describe the feeling of playing golf to someone who has never played before? It's like a strategic dance with nature where each swing is a step and the course is your partner. That's probably gives you the biggest joy. Yeah, no, I'm going to go with this one for sure. Alright, so we probably added 5,000 more followers. There you go, 9,000 more followers, so. Because, yeah, I guess we were close to 2,000 each, and I think there were 5 questions, so. Alright, but we're up to Trendsetter. It's interesting, because between 260 and 420, in theory, we should just kind of be where we're at, but alright, so I'm definitely entering week 6 feeling better. I would say that you know, definitely working on the good shot strategy. It's hard to argue that that isn't what changed a good amount of things. I mean, you know, and I had one shot that went out of bounds, but then recovered, where before in the second round, I think, was when things were flying off the cliffs everywhere. You know, I did that 2 or 3 times in a row on that hole. It was terrible. So, you know, but definitely trying that. It looks like we're Waste Management Phoenix Open next. Definitely remember that one, and I remember that was someone I always struggled with. So it will be a test for certain at that point. But the Players is coming up in 5 weeks. We're getting close. We're, I guess, right in the middle. I was going to say we're closer to it than we are further away, but I'm not sure that that's quite accurate. But either way, we're just going to enjoy next week. So I will see you next time.